Oh, hello. Welcome back. So, if you live under a rock or don't live in Canada, right now is roll up the rim season at Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, which is the Dunkin' Donuts of Canada, has a yearly contest that runs in the winter for a couple months where you can win anything from a free coffee to a donut to a car by rolling up the paper rim of your disposable coffee cup. It started in the 80s. Back then, the biggest prize you could win is like a box of Timbits, but now it's turned into this whole thing. It's huge hype. It's a bit of a media boost for the company as well because everybody reports on it. Everybody reports if someone wins a big prize. This year, it did get a little bit of negative press because there still is no way to play the game using your travel mug or a non-disposable coffee cup, which in most places in Canada can't even be recycled. And that's beside the point. This video is about why the odds of roll up the rim are absolutely terrible and maybe you should not buy them anymore. I see why people are into it. It's familiar, you grew up drinking it, it's easy, it's everywhere, it's relatively cheap compared to more modern coffee companies, but I don't find it to be good coffee. It's much more expensive than making it at home. The food is just factory food. Canadians have a bit of an attachment to it because they feel it's kind of this Canadiana thing to drink and eat Tim Hortons things. But Tim Hortons isn't even a Canadian company anymore. It's actually owned by this multinational conglomerate. People kind of say, oh, well, it's owned by Burger King, which is this Brazilian company, and that is partially true. And are we really getting any value for playing this game where we can theoretically win a car? So if you didn't know, in Canada, any contests or anything that people publicly do, first there has to be a rule that you can enter without any purchase whatsoever, which you can do by mailing in if you look at the fine print of the roll up the rim rules on the Tim Hortons website. But also they have to print the odds, what specifically the prizes are, what are the values of the prize, all of this information about every contest in Canada. So being the nerd I am, I looked up those odds as I do about every contest I enter basically ever. The odds are terrible, terrible odds. So for the purpose of this video, I'll talk about the odds in my region because Tim Hortons has helpfully broken down the odds per region of Canada. I am in region 5, which is Atlantic Canada. So when you look at the odds of how many cups will be sold in my region, region 5, compared to how many Jeeps there are available to be won, your odds of winning a Jeep are over 1 in 6 million. So that means if you go and buy 6 million cups of coffee, 6 million, $1.39 plus tax cups of coffee, you will statistically only win one Jeep, one $37,000 Jeep. I don't even understand what that machine is. She's like snowblowing her yard with some sort of auto thrower that's not a snowblower. So you're probably saying at this point, I buy my coffee anyway, it's just an added bonus that I can win these prizes. Well, what if we look at what you're paying and what you're getting at Tim Hortons for your $1.39, which is the cheapest coffee, for what you could get at one of their main competitors, which is McDonald's. Now, I know people have a taste preference for coffee, I understand that happens, but what if we just compare it semi-objectively, what you get dollar for dollar for the two? If you look at the price of a coffee at McDonald's compared to Tim Hortons, they try to be a little more competitive during roll up the rim, and any size coffee is $1.
Hey there, welcome to McDonald's. My name's Tyler. Would you like to try one of our new bagels today?
No, thank you. Could I have a small decaf, 1 cream, 1 sugar coffee, please? In addition to having their coffees for $1, they have a loyalty sticker on the cup that for every 7 coffees you buy, you end up getting a free coffee. And in fact, if you use the app to order their coffee, you actually get 1 sticker for that too. So you end up getting 2 free coffees for every 7 you buy. Now, let's just, for this argument, say you only get the one free one because you come through the drive-thru and you grab your coffee. So that ends up being only about 88 or less cents per coffee instead of $1 versus a small at Tim Hortons being $1.39. If the difference is about 50 cents a cup, there's a significant difference in there, and obviously that's just McDonald's trying to get your business while you're more likely to go to Tim Hortons. And maybe you say, I'm just in it to win a coffee or a donut or a cookie or something. The odds for that are 1 in 6 with roll up the rim. I'm just in it for that. I know I'm not going to win a car. The car odds are ridiculous. Well, if you spend 50 cents less every day, every 3 days, you can end up buying your own coffee or Timbit or cookie.
Small decaf?
Yep. If you can buy yourself something every 3 days with these odds instead of the odds of playing a contest, which are 1 in 6 every 6 days, you're going to get that. You still come out ahead just going and buying yourself a muffin or a cookie or a coffee with the money you save. And I understand that's not as fun as winning something and the delight of being surprised and all of that. But if you think of the odds even bigger, that if you bought those 6 million coffees to statistically win the car, you could save $3 million by just buying those coffees at McDonald's. And then you could buy yourself like 37 cars instead of just 1 car. Hi there. Thank you. The odds of winning the lottery in Canada, the actual lottery where you win millions of dollars, is 1 in 12 to 14 million. So you actually would come out way ahead if you took every 50 cents you saved on a cup of coffee and put it into buying lotto tickets, because the prize if you win the lottery is so much more massive than a $35,000 vehicle. Look, I totally get odds aren't this cut and dry easy thing, and you could easily go buy 1 cup of coffee at Tim Hortons and win the car. That can absolutely happen. And I know there's tons of people that are probably just doing it and saying, don't ruin the fun for me. I just like doing this. It's tradition. That's okay. But for me, I always want to think about what the reality of playing any lottery or game or anything is. And I get it. No one's buying 6 million coffees. In your head, you think it's just a game. Stop thinking in big numbers like that. But it's true. You can essentially look at it like you are paying 50 cents every time you want to play Roll Up the Rim. If you're okay paying 50 cents every time you want to play Roll Up the Rim, that's cool. Keep doing it if you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy something in your life. Just as a thought exercise, I asked my family and friends to track how many wins and losses they had at Tim Hortons. So over a segment of about 100 cups of people around me, mostly in my city, the odds were about the same as what they statistically are supposed to be. A few donuts and coffees won. No one won anything bigger than that. If you buy a coffee every work day for the entire month, it's $10. I get it. Have fun. Go do it. It's just when people talk about Roll Up the Rim, it's this constant talk as if it's this magical thing. I sincerely hope you win the car, because that's the fun part of dreaming. You're buying a ticket to dream, and that's okay too. But maybe it's a thought exercise with you that you shouldn't buy those extra coffees, or to shop around with where you get your products or services. Maybe it's just a nice reminder to read all the terms and conditions of whatever you contest you enter. It's still okay to want to do this and have fun.
Hi, quarter.
Hi, can I have a small black coffee, please?
Small black?
Yep.
Alright, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Come on down.
I'm not here to ruin your day. I'm just here to maybe give you something to think about in the money you're spending and where it's going, and if you really have the chances of winning anything. Hi there.
Jacket now. Hey.
Thank you. If you just want to have fun and play this, just play it. I'm not trying to ruin your day. It's just making you think about where you're spending your money, who that money goes to and what you're really getting for it. So thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, watching some of my other videos. Comment below if you love Roll Up the Room, you hate Roll Up the Room. Let me know how you usually do. And at least today, play again. Bye. I haven't been in a drive-thru in like a year. I don't even own a car.